What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Good morning, USA. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the stream. Hopefully everyone's having a good Sunday morning. Again, the Sunday streams when there's a morning game are typically a little bit more delayed. So that's just how we roll on the Sunday game. So let's do it. All right, so we begin here. Najee or Godwin at the flex. I would go with Godwin. Good morning. Pick up Olave, Debo, Hollywood Brown, or Godwin. I would pick Olave and Godwin. Glad to see you back. Glad to see you as well. Let's eat some W's. Stream Lamar or Purdy. I'd play Lamar. Let's eat some W's. That's a fact. What up, player? What's up, man? Michael Thomas was arrested. Yeah, I saw that. But Michael Thomas is the craziest part. He's actually playing on Sunday. Like, he's playing today. That's the craziest part. Is that the man was at the game. And if you go on Twitter, Spock, you can see a lot of people joking about construction workers and things about Mr. Michael Thomas. Did you like the stream? Question mark. Yes? No? Maybe so. All right. So again, the Sunday streams, sorry for being a little bit late today. When the game is on, typically not as many people show up. So going live at like 11 for 4 people isn't as advantageous. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Let's check the score of the game right now. I stopped watching because it was so fucking boring. It is 10-6 Colts. What a game. What a game that is, guys, right? Imagine being in Germany. You get 2 games a year to watch, and this is one of them. Pickens or Ridley? I would go Ridley. Good morning, Nick. I got to say, my boy Danny Dimes did not, in fact, strike back. Yeah, he did not. He did not. He struck back to the doctor's office, baby. Pick 2, Zay Flowers, Josh Reynolds, Michael Thomas, or Rashid Shaheed. I'd go Zay Flowers, and I would go with Michael Thomas. Laporta or Kincaid, I would go Laporta. What's up, Brian? What's up, everyone? What's up, Fast? How you doing, man? Patriots just threw an INT in the red zone. Typical Mac Jones play. I was hoping the Patriots would win, not because I want the Patriots to win, but because I don't want the Patriots to get Caleb Williams, and that's probably going to end up somehow happening. Pick 1 for my flex, McLaurin, DK, or Rashad White. I'd go McLaurin. McLaurin and DK are kind of toss-ups. If you want the safety, go McLaurin. If you want more upside, go DK. Bench 1, Pickens, Ridley, Myers. I'd bench Pickens. Good morning. And there's no Zay Jones this week, so I think that'll help out Ridley a decent amount. Good morning. Cooper or Godwin is the flex. I would go with Godwin personally. Pick 1, McLaurin or Deontay Johnson. I go Deontay Johnson. No problem. What's up, Fast? How you doing, man? Good morning. Good morning, USA. I think I already sung that. 12-team PPR, pick 2, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, pick 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. All right. You're gonna go with the first 4. You're gonna go Hollywood. You're gonna go Boyd. You're gonna go Taysom, and you're gonna go Kittle. Logan Thomas, Pitts, or Otten at tight end. I would go Logan Thomas. Also, Dotson, Watson, or Pitts at the flex. I would go with Dotson. What's up, Nick? Let's get it. What's up with it? Should I start JSN or Sutton? I have Taysom too, but want to sit him since I have him in other leagues. Diversity risk. Well, I would probably start Taysom Hill if I'm being honest with you, but if you don't want to start Taysom, go Sutton. Pick 2, Madison, Montgomery, Henry. That's a good question. I would personally go Montgomery and Henry. Dak or streaming options. Dak is fine this week. Logan Thomas, Pitts are on. Oh, I already answered this one. No problem, Dorothy. Yeah, Logan Thomas, and I would go with Dotson. You like Watson this week, Captain Spock? I wish I could trust Watson, man. I really do. I am probably one of the biggest Watson fans. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Laporta a lot this week, and that makes sense. I like Dotson better than Watson, but I'm trying to hope that Watson bounces back. I'm praying to the football gods that Watson has a bigger game, but man, oh man, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Like, no matter how hard I hope and pray to the football gods that Watson starts doing something, I just don't know if he actually will. Baker or Kyler, Nick? I'd go Kyler personally. Who is higher upside? Yeah, Kyler. Leave a like, everyone. That's a fact. You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers we got right now. We got to pump it up. No. Thanks. No problem. I see you say Laporta. Yeah. Sutton or Irwin, already heavily favored this week. I would go Sutton. Start 2, King Henry, James Conner, Rashad White, Warren. I would go Henry and White. Any way you would start Keaton Mitchell over Ford? Yeah, if I thought I was going to get absolutely fucked, like if I thought I was going to lose by a gazillion points, that is the scenario in which I would play Keaton Mitchell, right? If you're just down in the gutter, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to win. I think I'm going to lose, blah, blah, blah. That's the scenario in which you play Keaton Mitchell over Ford. Did you guys watch the UFC last night? Huge win for my boy, Alex. I thought that Sergey was going to beat Aspinall. We talked about this on Thursday. I said that I like Aspinall better than Sergey. My gut was telling me to go Aspinall, but I was watching a lot of videos about the UFC, and a lot of people liked Sergey, so I bet Sergey like a buffoon. But I laid the hammer down to my boy Alex, who sent Jury to the metaphorical shadow realm. It was beautiful. Chef's kiss. Otten or Pitts? Sorry, I missed. No, it's okay. I would go Otten. Taysom Hill or Javonte Williams? I would go Taysom Hill. No problem, Nick. JSN or Flowers? I really hope Connor looks good today. Yeah, like Spock said, he was looking good in practice. I appreciate it. What game are you looking forward to today since the Dolphins are on bye? Probably the Ravens-Browns game, I think, is the most interesting because typically these two teams play each other very close. And I'm interested to see like if the Ravens can truly get over that, right? Because the Browns are nowhere near the same stratosphere as the Ravens, but since they're in division, the Browns will probably end up winning. So that's kind of just an interesting narrative to follow. Also, the Lions versus the Chargers. As a big Lions guy, I've been a Lions guy for a while. Love Dan Campbell. I hope that the Lions are able to win that game because the Lions have been looking a little bit stinky prior to the bye, right? It's been looking not necessarily like fraud alert, like they're straight up dog shit, but it's like, okay, maybe we need to start worrying about the Lions and then, maybe they'll be able to bounce back. Good morning, Goofy Goobers. Good morning. Fergie over Pitts. Yes, John. Brandon, thank you for the super chat. Burrow or Stroud, also half PPR. Addison or Lockett. Great question here, Brandon. This is a tough one because we got Burrow versus Stroud in the exact same game. So Stroud obviously last week went absolutely nuclear against the Buccaneers. Everyone saw it. The man threw, I think, 5 touchdowns. He had a gazillion yards, which was a rookie record for the quarterback position. So yeah, it was very impressive. Obviously, I'm not sitting here trying to underplay what he did because we all saw how great he was. So if you're going to try to underplay that, that'd be crazy. But with that said, Burrow has been looking really, really, really good as of recently. The start of the season just seems like a completely different guy compared to what we've seen over the last 3-4-ish games. They beat the 49ers. This is a team that to me feels like they are very, very legit, too legit to quit. So I would go ahead and go with Burrow. I think the matchup is better for Joe Burrow, considering the Texans defense is kind of so-so and the Bengals defense has continued to get stronger and stronger as the weeks go on. So I would go with Burrow, and then Addison or Lockett is kind of a toss-up. Now, I will tell you right now, I think my rankings, I have Lockett ahead of Addison. If it was me, I'm playing Addison over Lockett. I think Addison is safer, and they probably have similar outlooks at the end of the week. Like, if you think Lockett could have a huge game. Lockett's huge game is probably like 25 points. I think Addison could do the exact same thing, if not better, based upon his matchup. It was funny to see Josh Dobbs walk out. I don't know if anyone saw this. Like, he was coming out the elevator, and someone had to show him where the locker room was, which I just thought was pretty funny. But I'm going to go Addison, and I'm going to go Joe Burrow. Don't really overthink the Joe Burrow situation. Goff or Stroud on the road, I'd go Goff. Brian Robinson or Laporta, I'd go Laporta. Schultz over Hawk, yes. In non-PPR. I'm a little bit worried about Hawk this week. Again, I didn't move him too much down the rankings because I think if you just start burying TJ Hawkinson, you are just kind of really overthinking things, but he is going to be seeing less snaps than normal. That was already made clear. So I don't think Hawkinson's fool's gold this week because even with few snaps, he can do with few words. Why use few words when Or why use big words when few words do a lot? I don't know, whatever the fuck that Kevin guy said on The Office. But I think Hawkinson, even with limited work, could still be good. But I would definitely take Schultz over him this week in non-PPR. Stroud over Goff. That's a little iffy for me. Don't worry too much about your win percentage on the websites. Whatever the websites tell you shouldn't really affect your thought process too much. It should be more of what you think. Because for the last couple of weeks, ESPN, NFL, all those people have been jamming Taysom Hill with 6 points. One second, guys. All right, did any of you guys see the stuff about Bijan Robinson about how apparently they're going to feed him the rock more? Maybe that's just an idiotic thought process, believing them, but I kind of feel it. And Dorothy, it's really close, if I'm being honest. And yeah, starting Hollywood over Chase, that is way too cute, in my opinion. What's up? What you mean? I'd go Purdy. Saints or Seattle defense? I'd go Saints. Trade Kyler plus Garrett Wilson to get Adams. All right, if you don't need Kyler, then yes. But if you feel like your quarterback situation is kind of iffy, I would say no. I pray Arthur Smith gets fired so much. Yeah, he has completely... Look how he massacred my boy. He completely massacred Bijan. But this week, allegedly, is going to be a bounce-back week for Bijan. All righty. Andrew, thank you for the super chat again. I really appreciate you. Singletary or Spears? Pierce is out and nice sectional. Where do you get that? The couch is from... Fuck, it's not IKEA. It's that other website that's like IKEA. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Fuck, here, right. Let me just Google couches. I'll be able to find it after a quick Google. Wasn't Raymore and Flanagan. Wasn't Ashley. It was Wayfair. I bought it on Wayfair. Let me tell you, I love this couch. I think I got it a year and a half ago. When I ordered this couch, they sent half the couch, didn't send the other half, and then they couldn't find pieces to the other couch, so I had to ship half the couch back, and then 3 months later got the couch. It was a fucking disaster with Wayfair, but what I will tell you is the couch is very comfortable, and I think it was only $1,300, and obviously you can't see the whole couch, but it's it goes obviously right there. It goes all the way to my wall, and then goes along the other wall. And it sits I said 8 people. Real nice couch. But yeah, it was a disaster when I got it. All right. Singletary or Spears? Pierce is out. Let's be honest with you. I don't think either of these guys are really all that great this week. But I think you want to go with the guy that you can see getting the most amount of touches, right? I think the Titans game ends up close this week. So, with that said, since I think that the Titans game will be close, that probably means that we're not going to see a lot of Spears, right? That probably means that we're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry, a lot of running the rock down the throat, a lot of them not pushing back. I thought Zay Jones was out, Spock. Am I crazy? But a lot of them trying to just run the ball instead of trying to dump it off late in the game, and that's kind of Spears' bread and butter. So I'm going to go Singletary. You know he's going to get the touches. He hasn't really done too well with the touches, so it feels like I don't think Singletary's very good, if I'm being honest with you, but it feels like Singletary's kind of due, right? He's kind of due to have that game where he gets the touches and just finds pay dirt. He just scores a touchdown. So, again, I'm not saying that you need to fucking go run out there and run straight to him, and you need to play Singletary in every lineup. Of course not. But right now, I would definitely go ahead and play Devin Singletary over Spears, 100%. Devin Singletary over Spears is the answer. I kind of gave a long answer when I didn't need to, but that's what we're doing here. All right. All right. So we're going Singletary. Y'all feeling good about Debo? No. But I never liked Debo, but let's be honest, I do kind of feel confident in him this week. When he's healthy, you got to play him. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? About to head down to the stadium for the tailgate early for Pat Tillman. Kyler's back, baby. Cannot wait to see my boy K1 light it up. Much love, Nick. Go Cards. Beat the land. See you, Ben. Have a good one. I hope you do beat Atlanta, so then maybe Arthur Smith gets sent to the fucking sun. And yeah, that I didn't know they were doing something early for Pat Tillman. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. R.I.P. Pat Tillman. I got Hollywood over Adams. I think that's a little ballsy as well. I think eventually we're in for a huge Adams game. Now, again, Adams is going against the Jets, so a lot of people are going to panic, but I don't know, man. Sometimes you just have to play your fucking studs, you know? Sometimes you just got to play the guys that the beasts, and yeah, Adams is one of the best receivers in the NFL. You guys see the picture of this week only. Yeah, I figured so, but you guys see the picture of Devontae Adams and Rodgers hanging out last night, right? Fucking, I know Rodgers is just so sad that he can't play. Because while a lot of people don't like Rodgers is a huge competitor, and it must just suck for him. I have to watch Zach Wilson go out there every week and fuck the team up. Y'all, yeah, I feel decent about Debo. Jamar Connor, James Conner, Gus Edwards, and Jerome Ford. I'd go Gus and Connor. Again, just so you guys are aware, Gus Edwards is probably not going to be getting as many touches as he used to. But if he just keeps scoring touchdowns, what do you want me to do? Right? Now, I don't have Gus Edwards on any of my teams, but I talk about this all the time. If I had Gus Edwards, I'm playing him. If it wouldn't surprise me if he got seven rushes and he had 3 touchdowns. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. So again, while I don't think Gus is like the safest bet, why would I fade away from that if he continues to perform week in and week out? So I'm going, crazy enough, I'm going Gus Edwards. I know people will disagree, and rightfully so maybe, but I'm going to go Gus Edwards. Hey, Nick, I need to start in standard F1 or Addison or JMO. I'd go F1. Michael Lawson. How you doing, sir? And what's the score to the game? Is the game over yet? Let's see real quick. NFL scores. And then I'll answer your question. 1 second, Michael. 10-6. What a fucking legendary game in Germany, man. What a game. Colts moved to 5-5. Patriots 2-8. Love to see it. Mac Jones, 15 of 20 for 170 yards and a pick. Ramondre has a decent game, but I don't think he scored. Demario Douglas has a decent game as well. Call me crazy, but does anyone else think Michael Thomas scored that touchdown at the beginning of the game? Now, again, I'm going to get to your question in 1 second, Michael, but anyone who was watching that game, did anyone think, and it was Wayfair, yeah, you got me, but does anyone else think that Michael Pittman scored? I don't know why the fuck they didn't review that, but Jonathan Taylor got the touchdown, 69 yards. Very nice for Michael Thomas. So, question here from Michael. Sorry. Stroud or Burrow, Connor or Madison, Dell or MT. So without Nico Collins, I think Tag Dell kind of moves into the range where you basically have to play him over a majority of those like fringe guys like Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is a fringe guy. He got mad at some construction workers. He has been decent this season, but he hasn't really been able to find the end zone. That's really been a huge Achilles heel for him. So I'm going to go Dell. Connor or Madison, I'm going to roll with Connor, even though Connor might be a little bit more risky. And then Stroud or Burrow, I would go Burrow. Again, I just think Burrow is playing up against the worst defense. And while Stroud went absolutely nuclear last week, do we really expect that to happen every single week? The answer would be no. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Burrow. We're going to go Connor over Madison. If you want to be safe, you go Madison. And then Dell over MT, 100%. Addison Ray or Deontay Johnson? I'm going Deontay Johnson. Thank you very much. Tarun. Oh, again, I think I've said your name wrong every single time. Taruner Bell ND Sand 3DS. Again, if I said your name wrong, I apologize. I love you. Thank you very much for the super chat. I love all you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Smash that fucking like button like it owes you some money here. 12-team PPR. I'm heavily favored. Ford, Flowers, Pickens, Myers, or Dotson. You're heavily favored. Let's go with... Let's just get you some points, you know? Let's go with, I think, the safest bet. You know, you're heavily favored. Let's get you some points. Let's go with Jacoby Myers. Now, again, I know a lot of people are worried about the Jets matchup, but what I will tell you is that this team, it's a mouthful. What I will tell you is that this team will just feed him the ball. I know he's going against the Jets. I know a lot of people worry about the Jets matchup, but you know Jacoby Myers is going to continue to get force-fed the ball. He has been a top-end receiver a lot of games this season, which to many might be a little bit surprising. Me included. If you don't want to go Myers, right, you're like very scared of the matchup, which is rightfully so. Personally, my gut, I'm a gut player. I typically go based on the gut. I look at the analytics. I go with my membrane. My brain is telling me to go Myers. If you want to be as safe as possible, you go Dotson. Commanders have a decent matchup. Dotson's been balling. You go Dotson. If you want to be safest, go Myers or Dotson. Personally, I lean Myers, but I think Dotson's a little bit safer. And then Jay says full PPR, Addison, Singletary, Javonte, Boyd. I am a big fan of Tyler, Boyd this week, but I do think that Addison is probably your best bet here. I think Minnesota with TJ Hawkinson limited should be looking to involve Addison. Sorry if that made a lot of noise, so I'll repeat what I said. I should have to take a picture of something really quick. But if with Hawkinson being kind of I don't know why the fuck I just said it like that, being limited in some fashion, I think that means that we see a lot more of Addison, which makes him even safer. So in full PPR, I'd go Addison. I think that obviously is it best case scenario that we do not have Kirk Cousins anymore. Of course not, right? That would be a crazy assumption to make, and assumptions make an ass out of you and me. But I think even with Dobbs, we could see Addison have a great rest of the season. So I'm going Addison. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Derek, thank you for the super chat as well. Full PPR, Barkley or James Conner, Laporta or Kincaid, Zay Flowers or Ridley, really have no faith in them. Arthur Smith for coach of the year. Yeah, I think Arthur Smith is probably like the safest bet right now. I think you should probably take out a second mortgage on your house and just bet it all on Arthur Smith coach of the year. I don't know what else you'd want to spend your hard-earned money on, right? Other than Arthur Smith coach of the year, right? That just makes perfect sense, right? So, yeah. Besides Arthur Smith coach of the year, Barkley or James Conner, I would go James Conner. Personally, I think Barkley is going to be in a struggle this game. Like, I just don't see how we reasonably see Barkley get enough touches to be super valuable, because the fact that I think Dallas is just going to be beating the ever-living shit out of him. Now, maybe late in the game, he falls ass backwards into the end zone. Like, would that be the craziest thing to ever happen? No. So I would probably just go with James Conner, though. Laporta or Kincaid? That's a great question. I go Laporta. Laporta and Kincaid are two of my highest ranked tight ends on the week. I just think Laporta's matchup against the Chargers is like one of the better matchups. We saw last week Conklin look good against that defense. Conklin obviously not even close to as good as Laporta or Kincaid. So I definitely go Laporta. So Laporta, Connor, Zay Flowers or Ridley. I'm going to be honest with you. I have Zay Flowers ranked higher. I don't think we should be very confident in either of these guys, though. Like, I don't think you should be entering into this week with like supreme confidence in Zay Flowers or Ridley, but I would probably go Zay Flowers there. So you're going to go James Conner. You're going to go Laporta over Kincaid. Laporta and Kincaid's basically a straight up fucking coin flip, if I'm keeping it a buck with you. But I just lean with Laporta there. I feel like that game has a chance to be more back and forth, whereas I feel like the Broncos might just bend over to the Bills and they're running the ball a lot later on in the game. So we're to go Laporta, James Conner, Flowers, and then, yeah, of course, Arthur Smith is winning coach of the year. Thank you, Mike Nowak, for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Javonte or Deontay Johnson at the flex. Can't help but think Javonte has a higher ceiling as long as he's fed and not a blowout game. Thanks. I agree with you. I think Javonte Williams should have a pretty decent game. Javonte Williams has been a lot better as of recently, which is not necessarily all that shocking because, hey, when you give a guy that is as talented as Javonte Williams a lot of carries, typically that leads to success, right? But at the end of the day, I think Deontay Johnson probably has more ceiling. This is a Steelers team that I get sucks, but you can't be like, say, oh, the Steelers suck, and then argue for why you want to start a guy like Javonte when the Broncos might suck even worse and might be in an even worse spot. They might be getting bent over a table, smacked by the Bills. So my opinion, I would go Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson has been very consistent since he returned out of that injury. So I'm just going to go with the more consistent piece. They both have similar upside. I think Johnson has slightly higher upside. So I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson. I get your reasoning for Javonte. I like Javonte Williams a lot this year, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go Deontay Johnson. Said I wouldn't join, but appreciate the Twitter DM. No problem, Culture. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's hard for me to answer a lot of Twitter DMs. Typically, I go on, I'll answer like one or two. I talk about this all the time. I get about as many Twitter DMs as like some chick that slings pictures of her tatas on Twitter. So I just I get a lot of them. It's hard for me to answer every single question. I appreciate the people that do DM me, and I hope you don't think I'm like some scumbag for not answering it. I appreciate everyone that follows me on Twitter, anyone that follows me on here. It means a lot to me, so I appreciate all you guys. So don't think I don't appreciate you just because I miss your Twitter DM, but I do appreciate you, Culture. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you. Wesley Lambert, thank you for the super chat. Just throwing this lineup out here to see what I should change. Your running backs are Aaron Jones, Bijan Robinson. Your receivers are DeAndre Hopkins and St. Brown. On the bench, you have Jahmyr Gibbs and Christian Kirk. So this is a pretty solid question because looking at your lineup as a whole, it seems like your lineup is correct, right? Because while I like Christian Kirk, I don't think I would start Christian Kirk. Definitely wouldn't start him over Amon-Ra. You could argue between him and DeAndre Hopkins, but I don't even think I would make that argument here to actually do that. So we're going to go ahead and just not play Christian Kirk over either of those guys, right? I think that would be a little bit crazy to do. So we're going to go ahead and lean without playing Kirk. And then Gibbs versus Aaron Jones and Bijan. Now, last week, when they finally gave him the touches that he deserved, he had a solid game. So what I'll tell you is you should probably go ahead and just stick with the guys you have in. I think with David Montgomery coming back, Jahmyr Gibbs's upside is definitely severely lessened. I think Bijan's going to get fed this week because a lot of what I've read is that basically if he doesn't get fed, he's losing his fucking Arthur Smith's losing his job. So I'm keeping who you got. It is close between Kirk and Hopkins, but I'm just going to lean with Hopkins. I think Levis has a much better game this week. And then between Bijan and Aaron Jones, I think it's just very clearly you want those guys in over Gibbs. But that is still a good question regardless. I'm 1-8. Should have reached out for more advice. Ass and titties, baby. I apologize. DJ, Kidco, my boy John, I appreciate you super chatting. Sometimes shit just doesn't go your way, man. That's something that I don't think a lot of people truly understand about fantasy football. Sometimes you could do everything correct and still lose. You could have, like, there's a league I'm in. I have, I think, the 4th most points, and I'm in last place. That's just how things go, right? You could just be running into a brick wall. You could have drafted Nick Chubb, a bunch of players that just got injured, and then you end up at the end of every single week wishing that you drafted a certain other player, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes shit goes wrong. At the end of the day, it's nothing to really worry about. I get that it sucks that you're 1-8, but I do appreciate you super chatting. But again, it's not something I would beat myself up about, right? There's a lot of luck that goes into fantasy football. Obviously, there's a certain amount of skill, but at the same time, it's not like anyone can anticipate injuries that could happen on a week in, week out standpoint. There are teams that were probably looking amazing in week 1 and then just got absolutely ass blasted by injuries. You hate to see it. That's just how fantasy football goes. But to answer your question, it's always titties. Duh. Chris, hey, brother. Who you starting? Flowers, Gabe Davis, or Pickens? I'm going Flowers, Chris. Now, I think all of these guys are basically like your quintessential boomer bust players, right? I don't think any of these guys, anyone sitting here would be like, oh, that's a really safe player, right? I don't think anyone's like, oh, I think Flowers is significantly safer than Gabe Davis or Pickens. Like, I don't think anyone's saying that. I think we all acknowledge that these guys are very boomer bust every single week. I would go with Zay Flowers personally. Now, I get the matchup isn't the best. Maybe Gabe Davis has the best matchup, but Flowers, when he has had those bust games, hasn't been so bad as to where it would sink your ship. Whereas a guy like Gabe Davis, his bust game, he might get 1 point. Pickens might get 1 point. Zay Flowers in his shit game, at least he's getting you like 5-6 points normally. He wasn't very involved at all last week, which tells me that they're probably going to look to feed him a lot more this week. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Zay Flowers. Out of those guys, again, I don't think any of them are safe. Like, I think technically, if you wanted to say who's the safest bet this week, it's probably Gabe Davis. But man, I don't I don't think any of them are safe. So I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers. Again, I'm pretty high on Zay Flowers. I think he's a really skilled player. I think that he's probably the second best rookie receiver pretty easily this year behind Addison. Just because of straight up usage. And I think Zay Flowers is going to get high usage yet again this week. So I'm going to go ahead and lean with Zay Flowers out of that group. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to everyone for super chatting. Again, I don't just answer the super chat questions. I try to get every question here. Kirk or Debo? Debo for me. Which two? What's up, LeVar? How you doing, man? Big baller brand. Let's go with, I would go Madison. Kittle or Kincaid? I'd go Kincaid. Would you trade Aaron Jones for Chris Olave if you need a receiver? Yes. Nicky Baby, Dotson or Bijan? Bijan. Warner, Edwards. I would go Edwards. Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Javonte Williams, Tank Dell. I'd go with the 3 receivers. I would go with Chase, Ayuk, Dell. Do it ASAP. ASAP, Fergalicious. Fergalicious. Geno Smith seems like the most fucking smooth brain play this week in DFS. I think a lot of people are going to be all over the Geno Smith Express. And it kind of scares me this week. I think that Geno Smith just doesn't really have it in him anymore. I feel like Geno Smith has really fallen off from last season. But now that I say that, right, Geno Smith's going to go crazy. I'm going to fade him. And he's going to go absolutely nuclear. And then I'm going to look like a straight up buffoon coming back here. So I do have to play some Geno Smith in DFS this week. No one asked about it. I'm just talking about it. Otten or Irv Smith, Otten, Rise, Otten. Fuck no, baby. Madison or Mixon. My phone died, so I don't know if you answered. Kirk or Debo. Bumble Tuna. Pick 3, Nick. Flowers, Wilson, Ford, Lockett, Deontay. You do have your Steelers hat on. Your Steelers gear on. So you got to go Deontay. Then you're going to go Wilson. And then you're going to go Ford. Thanks. No problem. Much appreciated. No problem. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream again. Without you guys, I always say this, but I do actually mean it. Without you guys, none of this stuff is possible, right? So I really do appreciate you all. Shout out to all 100 of you. 10 weeks into the season, still 100 motherfuckers out there that care enough to watch the stream. So I really do appreciate you guys. Love you a long time, as they say. Start. Kyler or Sam Howell? I'd go Sam Howell. Devontae Adams, Ayuk, Hollywood, Tank Dell. I'd go Ayuk and Devontae Adams. Again, I don't think you can sit Devontae Adams. I really don't. I think a lot of people are going to try to sit Devontae Adams this week. And we're going to have that group think. That's a classic group think scenario. Oh my God, we can't play Devontae Adams. And then Devontae Adams goes fucking crazy. One sec, guys. One second. Sorry. Sorry, I was just answering a text message. I know, guys. I'm so famous. I get a million text messages. Dell, McLaurin, D-Hop. I'd go D-Hop. Fins up. Bunch of buys. Would you play Taysom Hill or Noah Brown? Taysom Hill. How much is Taysom Hill on DFS? Or is he a quarterback? He's only 5,100. What the fuck? That makes no sense. He's not in any of my lineups. So you already know he's going to go fucking bananas. Boyd or Noah Brown? I'd go Boyd. Start Ford or Connor? Taysom Hill or Schultz? But it's like a coin flip. I'd go Hill over Schultz. Captain Spock, I need your help. Jason or Flowers? Pickens or McBride? Pickens. Hill or Hollywood Brown? I'd go Hill. Hey, Nick. Dave Montgomery or Warren? Dave Montgomery. Sorry, I missed it. Burrow or Goff? I'd go Burrow, personally. Debo, Montgomery, Tank, Dell, Tony Pollard, and PPR. Sit 1. I would sit Dell. Sam Howell or Murray? Sam Howell for me. Thank you for the super chat, DK Mitchell. I really appreciate you. I don't know how I missed that. Thank you very much. 1 flex, PPR, Rashad with 2 A's, White, Tank, Dell, Bijan, need a win. I got you. We have talked so heavily this stream about how I truly believe Bijan Robinson is back this week. The simulator I use to make my DFS lineups, love Bijan Robinson. But let's be honest with you, fellas. we know that Bijan Robinson has, and ladies, there's a chance that Bijan just absolutely fucks us again. Like, again, I don't think he's going to. But would anyone be surprised if at the end of the week Bijan Robinson had like 3 points? The answer would be no. So if you need a win, you need to pull a rabbit out the hat. I think we're going to X out Bijan Robinson, and I think we are going to go with Tank Dell. I think in a case of needing a win, you are going to go with the highest risk, and that is Tank Dell. But Tank Dell might be able to drop a 40 burger, and you might win straight up because of Tank Dell. If you want the safest bet, DK Mitchell, go Rachaad White. If you're ready to go balls to the wall like I am, go Tank Dell. There you go. Yeah, got to get those likes up, baby. Smash that like button. It's the easiest smash you're ever going to get. And the answer is Addison, American Glass Expo. Key up, tight end Kittle, Ferguson, or McBride, Wilson, or Geno. All right. We're going to go Kittle, Ferguson, or McBride. Oh, man. That's a tough one. Because I feel like the second that you sit Kittle is the second that he goes crazy. But with Debo back, typically Kittle struggles. So I'm going to go Ferguson. And then it's Wilson or Geno. Look, Geno just hasn't done shit this season. Like, Geno hasn't done anything, and maybe this is the week where he does it all, right? Maybe this is the week where I look like a buffoon. Geno Smith goes out there, and after weeks of being a complete and utter failure, he goes out and balls out, right? Maybe that is exactly what happens, or maybe I've been right, and hey, Geno looks like he's lost a step, and maybe Geno just isn't that guy that he used to be last year. So I'm going with Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, and I'm going with Ferguson. Fergalicious. Alrighty. All right. Kittle, Kincaid. Who do I start? Kittle, Kincaid, Boyd. Only starting tight end at flex. Yeah, go with both tight ends. Actually, I would go Kincaid and Boyd. Start 2, Bijan, Breece, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I would go with Bijan and Breece. Yeah, Spock, that is a very interesting stat about Kyler Murray. That's something I've also talked about this week. Let's see how much he runs. I've seen quarterbacks suffer crazy injuries like that, and then you never see him run as much. But I've seen quarterbacks suffer that injury, come out and run. It's weird. It is very, very weird. My best guess is Kyler doesn't run as much. I mean, I think it would be crazy to assume that he's going to run a shit ton, but I think it's still possible that Kyler goes out there and runs. Do you guys remember Dak when he came off that injury? And Dak used to be a guy that ran not a lot, right? He's not like Kyler or Lamar, but he'd go out there and run at least a little bit every game, and then he just turned into a statue. Same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow went from being a kind of a decent guy that would look to run a decent amount to a guy that was just a straight up statue in the pocket for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Atlanta Falcons' defense is beatable, so I think Kyler could have a pretty solid showing. There's going to be a lot of jokes about if Kyler shits the bed. Oh my God, he was up all night playing Call of Duty. And I'll probably say the exact same thing, right? Because it's like a cheap laugh. Like everyone kind of thinks that's funny and everyone kind of thinks it's lame at the exact same time. But it wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals went out and just shellacked the Falcons and that like Kyler had a decent game. Even coming off the injury, I don't think that's really that crazy. I'm a killer, baby. All right. Killer Kincaid. Dad, why won't Arthur Smith run Bijan in the red zone? Because he's an idiot. That's why. Noah Brown or McBride? Or Shakir? I would go with McBride. Dotson or Javonte? Dotson. Pick 3. Addison, Godwin, Ridley, Myers. I would go with Godwin, Addison, and Myers. Flowers, Wilson, Ford, Lockett, Deontay. I'd go Deontay, Wilson, and Ford. Monty or Bijan? Monty. Bitch, I feel like Monty. Dobbs or Geno? Dobbs. What's up? Dobbs or Burrow? Burrow. Monty or Aaron Jones? I'm going Monty. I have very strong beliefs in David Montgomery. I'm ready to be very wrong. I'm ready for David Montgomery to go out there and shit the bed. But at the end of the day, I'm going to die on my sword. I'm going to die with my belief in this man. I have always believed in him, and I will continue to believe in him. This is a guy that Dan Campbell, when healthy, force feeds the ball to him. This is a guy that, to me, has that crazy upside to just win you the week by himself. So I'm going with the boy. Fuck, what was I saying? I don't know why. My brain just had a straight up brain fart. I'm going with my boy Monty. This is what happens when I stream. For some reason, my brain just doesn't work half the time. That's why I never understand how guys are playing, guys play like video games on stream for like 10 straight hours. Like I would slip up and say something absolutely not outrageous. Like I would just like forget how to talk. If you guys watch in the summer, I did a 12-hour live or 10-hour live stream doing fantasy drafts. Towards the end of it, I literally sounded like I had a stroke minutes before. Like I would go to say something and the words just would not come out correctly. And that's what I would worry would happen if I was some video game streamer streaming for 10 hours every day. That would just start saying shit that made absolutely no sense. I didn't buy the new COD. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of on strike against Call of Duty. Zach, Barkley or Deontay, Pittsburgh, non-PPR. Love the content. I love you as well. Thank you very much, Zach. I appreciate you. Love all you guys. Make sure that if you love me a long time, you smash that like button like it owes you some fucking cashola. Let's go Deontay. Now, I know it's non-PPR, but Deontay, he, what's that called? Popped the cherry, metaphorically, of scoring a tug last week. He got that touchdown. Barkley is in just such a tough matchup. Like, I think at the end of the game, maybe we see Barkley just score like some Fugazi bullshit touchdown, right? The game is just over, and he hops in the end zone. Right, or he's not doing anything all game. Then DeVito just peppers him like 5 times on the final drive. He gets like 70 receiving yards and ends up with a decent game. Wouldn't surprise me. But at the end of the day, Deontay has been very reliable. I get this is a non-PPR league, but dude, I just can't do it with Barkley this week. Like, I think Barkley's a good player. I'm not trying to shit on Saquon Barkley, but at the end of the day, we have to understand the situation that we are in right now. And that situation is one that is so gross, with the fact that this is a team that is going to keep rolling out Tommy DeVito. So you just can't really do anything about that. So you're just kind of stuck adhering to that. If you're a Barkley owner, you can play him most weeks, but against the Dallas Cowboys, fuck no, baby. We're going Deontay. Rock out with your cock out. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I love you a long time as well. 2 running backs, 1 flex. Bijan, Walker, Javonte, Ayuk, McLaurin. How close, Spock? I need an answer on this. If you got an opinion, let me know. Because I have, I think, a pretty strong opinion on this. How's everyone feeling on Kenneth Walker? I think Kenneth Walker might have entered the range of basically being on the fringe of fantasy football death. Being at the point where I think that the Bijan Robinson that we see, not the Bijan Robinson, the Kenneth Walker that we have came accustomed to over the last season and a half is now gone because Charbonnet is now getting a lot more touches. So I am worried that Walker might be dead in the water soon. Now, it's possible that the reason we're not seeing as much Walker is because of the fact that they were banged up and they're losing these games, so they got to take Walker out. They put in Charbonnet. It makes sense. But I think Walker might be on his way out here. So we're going to go Bijan. We're going to go Javonte. Oh, no, this is easy. We're going, well, you have to play Bijan and Walker, I think. Fuck. All right, we're going Ayuk. We're going Bijan, and we're going Javonte. Ayuk, Bijan, Javonte. I'm not going to think too much about that because I'll start bouncing back and forth. Bijan, Ayuk, Javonte. All right, Giorgio the chef. London or Olave. Also, let's hope for that as an option next week. Love the stream, pal. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think Uncle Lenny is going to keep getting more involved in this offense. I'm an Uncle Lenny guy. I love Uncle Lenny. I had an Uncle Lenny, matter of fact. interesting tidbit of information from my life. All right. I think I'm going to throw one more DFS lineup in here. London or Olave. Definitely going Olave. Again, I like London's matchup, but the London Bridge is falling down. I just don't trust Heineke. I just don't. I trust Derek Carr a lot more. I like Olave's matchup a decent amount. I think he can get a lot of points. So I'm going Olave, and thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. Houdini Weenie says half PPR, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and 1 flex. Mix in Monty Hall, Diggs, CD, Dell. 2 running backs, you're going Hall and Mixon. At receiver, you're going Diggs and CD. And you're going Monty over Dell. So you're going Mixon, Monty, Hall, Diggs, CD. Dell, Monty, kind of toss-ups. It is half PPR, though, which would push me closer to Monty. So Mixon, Monty, Hall, Diggs, CD Lamb. That wasn't that easy, though. Yeah, Chris, it's a tough scene out here. You're playing Walker over Bijan, Burger Dog. You have more balls than I do, man. I am scared. Beyond scared straight. We playing Chase or not? Dell and Shaheed stashed on the bench. I'm playing Chase. Look, some people might be nervous to play Jamar Chase, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm playing Jamar Chase because I start my studs. I have read that there should be not a huge limit on his workload, so I'm going to ride with him. Could this be drastically wrong? Could you get butt fucked over Jamar Chase? Yeah, but I'm going to play my guy. And playing my guy would be playing Jamar Chase. So that's who we're leaning with. We're playing Jamar Chase. It is what it is. Erie, thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate you. Would you start Christian Watson or Kareem Hunt? I would go with Kareem Hunt. I know that his workload might be dwindling, but I think you just have to play Kareem Hunt over Christian Watson because Christian Watson just really hasn't shown us anything. So that's why we're leaning that way. We're going to go with Kareem Hunt. AJB4356 is Bijan or Javonte. I'm going Bijan. Again, I really do believe this is going to be the game where Arthur Smith says, hey, what a wonderful time of day. Says, hey, let me actually give the ball to this guy. Like, hey, we fucking have been getting butt fucked because we're giving the ball to Tyler Algier on the goal line instead of Bijan Robinson. So, hey, maybe let's use our cranium for half of a second and give the ball to Bijan. I think Javonte is in a good game. I think Javonte could outscore Bijan, but I'm going Bijan. And this is the last time, right? If Bijan shits the bed again, we're going to be in a scenario where we can't start Bijan anymore. So I'm going Bijan. Again, it's basically a toss-up. It's basically a coin flip. You can go with Javonte. If someone asks me this question again, Nick, Bijan or Javonte, I might tell them Javonte. That's how close it is, but I go Bijan. Erie, thank you for the super chat again. I appreciate you. I'm definitely going Kareem Hunt again. I have to go Kareem Hunt. I'm not playing Christian Watson. 6-3 teams, where you at? We need a big W this week. Yeah, a lot of my teams are not 6-3. I have some teams that are... My teams normally in fantasy are either very good or very bad based upon how I draft. So normally everything ends up hitting well. Like I have one team, I think I have 1 or 2 losses. Like my Superflex team is an absolute behemoth. Then I have another team that is just terrible. Most of the time my teams aren't in the mid-range. They're not like, I don't have any teams that are like 5-4 or 4-5. It's either really, really good or very, very bad. And that's just kind of how I draft. And I think you guys also kind of understand that from the way I answer your guys' questions. I typically lean with the higher upside guys. Boyd or Connor, I'd go Connor. Riley. 127 Entertainment, thank you. Trust Adams to come out the slump or play Amari. Well, the thing is, you're basically running into 2 hard matchups. You're running into either Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, or Marlon Humphrey and the Ravens. So either way, you're basically praying to the football gods that you don't run into a straight up hammer of a corner. And you might end up running into that hammer. with Amari or Adams. So I'm just going to lean with the guy that I think is the better player, that I think is most likely going to see a lot more targets, and that's Adams. We might see a Deshaun Watson disaster class. Like, I don't think Aiden O'Connell's very good, but I think Aiden O'Connell at least knows, hey, let's just fucking throw the ball to Adams 50,000 times. So I would rather just lean with Adams. South Sea 7-7, Hawk or Flowers today. I would go, look, this is one where it's kind of up to preference, right? Hawk is a guy that is going to be seeing limited work, but in that limited work might be able to do a whole lot with it, right? He might be able to have a big baller game with not a lot of touches. Whereas I think we might end up with a scenario where Hawkinson doesn't get the workload like we assume, right? He doesn't get as many touches, and he ends up just being very bad, which is very possible. So I'm going to go with the riskier option, which I think is Hawk, to be honest with you. I'm fine playing Flowers, but even 50% of Hawkinson might be better than what we're going to get out of Flowers. So I think Flowers is safer, but I'm going Hawkinson. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Let me find Jason's question here. Jason said, Kyler Murray or Sam Howell. That's a close one for me. I don't think that either of those guys are really running away from one another. But what I will tell you is we've seen Sam Howell play this year, and we kind of know that his floor is like quarterback 14, right? In this matchup, if Sam Howell has a really bad game, he's probably going to finish in the range of quarterback like 12 to 14, whereas Kyler maybe goes out there and he doesn't run. Maybe Kyler goes out there and he looks like a shell of himself. He's trying to get used to the game speed, and maybe he just sucks for the first game or two, right? Very plausible. I wouldn't say that that is impossible. It is impossible. So we're just going to go ahead and lean with Sam Howell, who has been a lot safer of a player this season, been very safe. So I'm going to go ahead and lean with Kyler. I'm going to lean with the boy Kyler Murray. Next question. Oh, I'm going to lean with Sam Howell. That's what I fucking meant to say. I'm leaning with Sam Howell, not Kyler Murray. Duh, I just had that whole diatribe, and then I fucking said the wrong answer. Like a dumbass. We're going with Sam Howell, 100%. Don't overthink it. Go with Sam Howell. Lockett or Pickens? Lockett. Start 3. Bench, Hopkins, Deontay Johnson, Olave, Debo, and Tyler Boyd. Oof. Playing Deontay Johnson, Olave, and Debo. Heineke, Levis, or Kyler. By the way, your imitation of chat in the video always had me time. Thank you, Mailback. I'd go Kyler. I know we kind of just went some diatribe on Kyle Moe, but yeah, I'm going Kyler. I don't know why the fuck I just sounded like a straight up great dumbass, but yeah, we're going Kyler. Yeah, I'll check that out in a second time. Gus, the Bus Edwards, or Devin Singletary, flex spot, half PPR. Let's go Gus. Connor or Javonte? I'm going Connor. Miami D, sitting on my waiver wire. Think about dropping Tajay Spears to pick him up. Yeah, I'd be fine doing that. Dolphins D has an easy schedule coming up, and the Dolphins defense looks way better in my opinion than we did just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going and saying that I think that the Dolphins defense is going to be great later on in the season. Alrighty. Chase is playing, so you got to play Chase. Demont or Barkley? I go Demont, Michael. Deontay Johnson, Ridley, Addison, and Hollywood. Deontay Johnson and Addison. All right. I love seeing myself on Tyron's screen right now. The two most recent screens, I went with a leg. All right. Let's see. I like the most recent one. I like yeah, I like both of the ones you sent today, actually. Those both look pretty good. Javonte or Jamar? Jamar. Godwin or Jake Ferguson? Jake Ferguson. Sam Howell or Lawrence? Lawrence. I need T-Law to come in hot this week. I hope so, too. I hope, though. 5 minutes till kickoff. About to get cold like Minnesota. Driving around little boaters. Deontay Johnson and Addison. Gino and DK stat, or Will Levis. Gino. Vic Fangio, best defensive coordinator in the league. Look, Captain Spock, I was someone that might have been a detractor of Vic Fangio for the first couple games of the season. It didn't seem like it was working. It seemed like the defense, like against the Bills, I'm thinking, okay, we finally have a defensive coordinator that can stop Josh Allen. Then we go out there and we get absolutely fucking smacked around. We got smacked around like a child. And then it hits me. Oh, maybe it's going to take some more time. And now, after all that time and getting Ramsey back, the Dolphins defense looks amazing. So I guess I shouldn't have been someone that overreacts to one game. I know that. I tell you guys not to overreact to one game, but I did it because I'm an idiot. So don't overreact to things too much. I think that Vic Fangio, you might be right. T is out. Chase should be busy. I agree. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Start Laporta and start Hill over Brian Robinson the flex? Yes. I think Laporta and Hill at this point in the season are both must starts. It might be crazy that Taysom Hill is a must start player in fantasy football, but he is. He really is. He is a huge upside play. I get he might score 2 points for you, but the upside's so high, and Laporta has a great matchup to where I don't think you can sit Laporta. Here, wait, let me go back. Fuck, what team was I just looking at? Oh, man. Guys, yeah, I go Laporta and Hill over Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson's going to have a decent game, but I think you can't really sit you can't sit Laporta or Hill, so I'd have to go with both those guys. Last minute question, taste the skills. I'd go Algier and Watson. Steelers defense or 49ers defense? Steelers. Let's hope Connor does better than Javonte. I think he will. Barkley or Gibbs? I'd go Gibbs. No, I'd go Barkley. All right, guys. In my actual team, I'm trying to make a decision here. If I should start Kyler or if I should start Trevor Lawrence. Now, I need to make it quick. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go Kyler. I'm going to stick with my gut. All right. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Good luck to everyone in chat. Good luck to everyone. I appreciate all you guys watching the stream. Jets or Raiders defense? Jets. May the fantasy football gods be with you today. Exactly. Lawrence and Kyler is a straight up coin flip for me. I'm going Kyler, but it could easily be Lawrence, and I could be wrong. My gut told me Kyler a couple days ago. Because my matchup kind of sucks. My whole team is on bye. As you guys know, I was very high on the Dolphins offense this summer. And so there's a lot of Dolphins players on my team. So my teams are all fucking battered by the bye weeks. DK, Addison, and Dots. I go Dotson and DK. Good luck, everyone. No problem, Tyron. And your team this week, the receivers are a little light. The quarterback is a little light, but at the end of the day, I still think you should probably end up winning. So I'm going to go with a nice 7.9 out of 10. Good luck, boys. Good luck. Steelers. No, I'd go Raiders defense. Who's slapping down the same emoji as me? It's hilarious. In Arthur Smith, we trust. I don't like what I saw from Kyler. It's okay. I'll be on vacation until next Sunday after Thanksgiving. See you then. See you, Captain Spock. Have a good one. Till the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Have a good one, Spock. I appreciate you. Thank you for helping out the streams. Love you a long time. Thank you to everyone who watches the streams. Obviously, make sure you guys give a nice thank you to Spock anytime he answers your question, because he doesn't have to do that, right? Spock could go do whatever. But instead, he's here chilling with us. So Always make sure if he answers your question, you thank him. Shout out to Spock. Shout out to everyone in chat. Love you guys. I'm starting Kyler with 2 on bye. That makes sense. Good luck. Thanks. Good luck to everyone. Gibbs, Flowers, or Gabe at the flex? I'd go Gibbs. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to go watch the games. I hope everyone has a good Sunday. This is going to be a tough week. This is going to be a week where a lot of people complain that there's not a lot of fantasy points. This feels like the kind of week where someone wins $1 million on DraftKings and they don't have 200 fantasy points. At least that's kind of how I feel right now. But I love you guys. I appreciate you all. See you, Spock, after Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys all have a good week. I'll see you guys on Thursday with the live stream. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow with videos. And then Thanksgiving week. I know Spock won't be here. I think we're going to be live on Thanksgiving for the games. And then live Friday, maybe not right before the Dolphins game, but in the morning on Friday, we'll be live, most likely. Unless I am just tired as fuck from eating on Thanksgiving, but I don't think so, because obviously I'll be fired up for the Dolphins game. I love you guys. See you guys very, very soon. Have a great one.